Hello friends, good morning. It is the morning after Christmas Day and I'm wanting to start a reading vlog. I'm not totally sure how long this is going to be. It might be for 24 hours, it might be for the week. I'm gonna see where it takes me. But you know, based on the title of this video, but I don't. I've got myself a lovely cup of coffee and I'd like to chat through the books that I'm going to be reading. I will start off with my audiobook first, and that is The Wizard Heir by Cindy Williams Chima. This is the second book in the Heir Chronicles. I have been listening to this for about a week. It is good. It is not as good as The Warrior Heir, which is the first book in the series. This follows a sort of world of magical people, and they're hidden from people who are non-magical, and there are different categories of magic people. In this book, we follow Seth, who is the 16-year-old, and he is thrust into this world unknowing of his heritage, but he is in fact a very powerful wizard and is being trained. He goes through a very horrifying ordeal, and it turns out the reason he was put in that ordeal is because of politics. And so this book is getting into more politics than the first one, which I was excited about, but the beginning of this book was just an absolute drag and I almost DNF'd it. It got better. It's still not amazing. Unless something drastically changed, I can see this being a 2-star, which sucks that I'm spending my time on it, but it's alright. And taking a little bit more of a positive turn, my physical read is Out of Love by Hazel Haze. I started this yesterday. I'm probably 80 pages or so into it, and this is a debut novel by an Irish-born author, and she is writing a romance novel backwards. So the couple is Theo, is the boy, and I've been looking through this book and I can't find the name of the young woman. It just says a young woman on the back here, and it's written in first person from her perspective, so we've only ever heard I. And I'm looking through to see in any conversation if her name is mentioned by another character when addressing her, but I'm not seeing it. That's really annoying, because whenever she is like addressing a friend in conversation, she says their name so many times. Like Kira is mentioned like 6 times in this conversation, but her name isn't said. Anyways, I don't know her name, but there is a breakup at the beginning of this book between Theo and our narrator, and the book apparently goes chronologically backwards, and so at the beginning they break up, and then at the end of the book is when they're meeting for the first time. So Hazel Haze holds a place in my heart. I have watched her on YouTube creating content for a very, very long time. She published her novel last year in 2020 and didn't release in the US until a couple of months ago, maybe in October. And so getting my hands on this book meant a lot, and it's taken me almost 2 months to get to it, and I'm very excited to be reading it right now. So 2 very, very different reads that I'm going to be getting into today. I will keep you posted on my reading progress, but for now I have a cup of coffee and I'm going to be getting caffeinated while settling in to read. I have very few plans today and am excited about it. I now have a good couple of books and I'm just ready to settle in and hang out for a little bit and prepare myself for work tomorrow. So I will catch you later. Hello. It has just passed noon and I am, wow, okay, that's better. It is just past 12 and I've only read 20 or so pages of Out of Love, so I don't have an update for you on that, but I do have an update for you for The Wizard Heir, which I have been listening to on my Bluetooth while I have been cleaning my library, and I got some new books, so I was rearranging my bookshelves and that sort of thing. We are coming up on the ending of A Wizard Heir, and they are gearing up for the big fight right now, and I'm a little concerned. Ultimately, I'm now realizing that I do care about these characters and I want them to be okay. It's obviously potent enough that I care. It is a ridiculously gorgeous day. It is so mild outside. It is like 70 degrees. I'm honestly a little bit upset because it's supposed to be Christmas time, but I'm out here in a t-shirt. I'm gonna head back inside and keep reading Out of Love. I will keep you posted on my progress. I'm gonna do some filming a little bit later, but yeah, that's what's up. Hi, I finished The Wizard Heir. The ending was cool. It did not save the other parts of it that were very long drawn out and boring, i.e. also not explained well, and there were a couple things that I didn't like about this book. I felt that the writing was really surface level. Some of the characters were not well thought out or well crafted, in that they felt kind of flat and pretty formulaic of a YA fantasy. The hero, the bad guy, the hero's crew of people who he's like really recently met, but for some reason will like risk their lives and the lives of their families and loved ones to save this hero. It was just really formulaic and 2-dimensional, and I didn't really like it that much. much. It bums me out because I have the third book in this series and now I don't want to read that. I'm sorry I don't have more to say on this book and not more positive things to say, because I really enjoyed the first one, so I don't know what happened. It's also possible that I could have been at an advantage when I read that first book, when I was really just getting into reading at the time. So since then, I've probably read some way better crafted characters, and maybe if I were to reread the Warrior Heir, I would not like it as much. Just know there's a few factors that go into me not liking this. It could also be the timing. I am very ready to be reading, not this book, but to be reading Out of Love by Hazel Haze. I've only read 20 pages since I last spoke to you, so no update. I am desperate to read more of this, so I will touch base with you later. Hello friends. I'm sitting here on the couch reading at this point, and I've read another 30 or so pages. There is a lot of back and forth between this couple. They are very like Velcro-y in that one chapter they are going through a really rough time where they're fighting about something, or one of them is cheated on the other, or there's big drama here, and it's really affecting the mental health of both of them, especially our female character. But then in another chapter, like literally the next chapter, they're making up. It's just a little bit of whiplashy so far. It's still very good because I'm grasping that both characters are good and bad. There is not a character that is just like, they're a bad boyfriend, she's a bad girlfriend. Like, it's not that straightforward and simple, which I kind of like. So I feel like we're going to be set up for some layered and complicated characters that are being crafted well so far. So I'm definitely invested and I'm still really enjoying myself. I am going to be having some people over to watch The Matrix 4 tonight, and I'm going to eat some dinner and hang out. So I'm trying to get some reading in before people come over. But yeah, hello and good evening. I am in bed now. We just finished watching The Matrix and our friends are still over playing with a VR thing. I only read 120 pages today, which is not nearly as much as I wanted to, so I am going to keep this vlog going into my work week. Just wanted to touch base and say goodnight, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, hello friends. It is Tuesday. Woohoo! I'm on my lunch break and I have just been reading at the library outside. It is absolutely gorgeous. Anyways, the book is fantastic and I will hope to have an update for you tonight with other things I have read. Bye for now. Hello friends, happy Tuesday. I am on my lunch break at the moment and I wanted to tell you that I started another audiobook yesterday, and I started Under the Whispering Door by TJ Clune, and it is a fantasy story about a man who dies and he goes to a tea shop in the afterlife and basically is like, I don't know, he just gets to hang out and like reflect on his life, and he apparently was not a good person. So I'm probably about halfway through that. It's okay. I've read the other TJ Clune book that came out last year, The House in the Cerulean Sea, and it is not as good as that book, but I'm still enjoying it. And I also wanted to tell you that I have read a little bit more of Out of Love. I'm at page 180. I'm almost halfway. I'm hoping to make it to halfway today, and it's super sad. That's all I have for you. I hope you're doing well. Bye. Good evening. It's Tuesday evening and I wanted to give you a mini reading update. I have passed the 200 page mark of Out of Love and have decided that now the structure of this video is going to be around this whole book, and I'm going to finish it in this vlog. What I'll say so far is this book is pretty emotionally whiplash-y. There might be a better way to say that. This book is this book gives me emotional whiplash. Because we move backwards in time, we arrive at a fight and our couple is fighting, and then you move backwards in time and then you get the context for the fight. But at that time, maybe the couple weren't fighting and they were being super lovey and very romantic and caring about each other. But then you move farther back past that, and the reason why they were making up in the first place is because this bad thing happened, etc., etc. So it is extremely emotional. I'm not okay. I wouldn't say I'm like having a grand old dandy time. It is beautiful and the writing is amazing, and it makes me very thankful for the loved ones in my life. But please look up the trigger warnings. This is not for the faint of heart. I need to dry my hair, so that's going there. I just don't understand what Theo's deal is. Like, he's such an ass. And I don't understand how Hazel Haze is gonna make me care about this man. Because our couple have been together for so long, there's a level of comfort. It's familiar, it's safe, it's comfortable. But the fact that they even got to the place that they were familiar and safe and comfortable by skipping over these mega communication issues, it's mind-blowing to me that they even got to that place. I'm not having the best reading time right now, because when I think about it, it makes me sad, but there's no way I'm not gonna find out what happened to this couple. But that's the thing, is I already know what happened to the couple. Like, they break up in the end, like at the beginning of the book, but in the end of time, like time passes and at the end of their relationship, they break up, they don't end up together. It's just such an interesting concept that like she can literally tell me the end of the book and I'm still emotionally invested. I guess that goes to show that this is working for me in some way. I'm going to do some reading tonight and we'll touch back with you hopefully again this evening before I go to bed and give you an update on what I've read. I am really trying to focus in tonight. The last 2 days I haven't been able to sit down and read for more than an hour, and I have that time tonight, so we will see where I get to. Alright, so not only did I not update you that evening, it's a couple of days later because I decided that I wanted to focus on finishing this book, which I have, and I'm ready to give you my thoughts. I enjoyed what this book was trying to do conceptually, and I do think that it was a very creative and original idea. Unfortunately, I think in execution, it did not work for me as well as I wanted it to, and in spite of this conclusion and all of my feelings totaled up, I do really respect what Hazel Haze was trying to do. If you made it this far in the video, you know why this book didn't work for me, which I hate saying. I do want to clarify that I can read about not good people and I can read about not good situations and still think the book is good. If there is a awful main character who is just like the worst person ever, does not mean the book is bad. So hear me right when I say this, but these characters were really, really hard to deal with for me. So much so that it did actually affect my reading experience. Also, the structure of this book, knowing at the beginning that the couple does break up and it does not work out, and it does actually not only just not work out, but it kind of does crash and burn, made it very difficult to read and believe in the scenes where they were reliable and dependable and consistent people in each other's lives. I think that goes to show that Hazel Haze was extremely clever because it made me feel how displaced and disoriented that our main character felt when they broke up. I felt that way when I got past the beginning when they break up and I started to ingest the scenes where they were together. Because I knew the ending, it was hard to believe in those good times. And I think that it was really hard for the main character to believe that they were breaking up. This book deals with a lot of mental illness and a lot of very serious traumas. Please look up the trigger warnings. Some of them are delved into in not a lot of detail, they're just mentioned and passed over. And some of them are detailed and explored in this book. Just know what you're getting into if you decide to pick this up. This book 100% made me feel, made me care. It made me hurt with and for the characters. My disappointment with the ending specifically was because at the second to last chapter, I was given a piece of information that I thought was going to be explored more. When you get to the later chapters in this book, it is 100% just about the past. There is no hint of what happens to them after they break up, except for this one. There's 2 paragraphs at the end of this one chapter that was addressing our main character's time in therapy. And it basically goes on to say that the diagnosis she receives at her current therapy, it says, I would go on to find out that this wasn't a complete diagnosis. I would also go on to find out that Theo and I each have our own mental health issues. that's not news to the reader. It was very evident that both of them, to a certain extent, were mentally ill. But posturing the writing in that you're reflecting on the future got me excited for the last chapter of this book. That format of writing in which the future is being referenced is never discovered again. It's literally just the 2 paragraphs at the end of the second to last chapter. I found that incredibly frustrating because it definitely got my hopes really high that we would end on a relatively positive note in which the main character is reflecting on this time, and it turns out that this was for the better in this way, and this, I learned this from that, and it just didn't end that way. I wish those 2 paragraphs hadn't been included because it definitely changed my expectations for the ending of the book, and then it didn't follow through. I have no idea what I'm gonna rate this. I don't think that I need to have an amazing and happy time in order to rate a book highly, but this book did not make me feel good. I did not really have a good time reading this. But I, again, really respect what this book does. I think it's an incredibly original and creative idea, and it's a beautiful way to explore the effect that mental health can have on a relationship, specifically a romantic one. I'll probably just give this 3 stars and call it a nice little even split down the middle. I never said this out loud, but this in my brain was a 5-star prediction. But hey, not every book can be a winner. Not every reading week is going to be a fantastic experience, and that's totally okay. I still did enjoy myself to a certain extent, and I hope you did too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like other bookish content like this, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!